Hello and welcome to Bespoke Unit. My name's Paul Anthony, and today we're going to be looking at this exciting new watch from Zenith, the Defy El Primero 21, which features a 1/100th second chronograph. So I've been waiting a little bit of time now to get this watch on the wrist. I've been very excited to kind of test out the functionality of this new Zenith movement here, the 9004 automatic, which is essentially two watches in one. You have the regular time component with the balance wheel here and the escapement. Then also underneath, I'm not sure if you can quite see that in the open works, you've also got the escapement and the powertrain there for the chronograph, which is as mentioned 1/100th of a second. So you're going to be able to read that here in a 30-minute chronograph function, as well as the elapsed seconds here, as the typical second hand is actually going to do one whole rotation per second. So we also see here on the dial that we have a power reserve for the watch, which is a 50-minute power reserve for the chronograph, and the watch itself has a 50-hour power reserve, powered here by this unidirectional rotor. As you can see, this is maybe one of the downsides. I don't particularly like unidirectional rotors at times, because you can kind of get that funky spin, as you just saw there, if you're not winding it in the quote-unquote correct direction. But the case back is extremely handsome. You can see the star motif there, not only carried out on the rotor, but as we're at the back of the watch here, you can also see it on the clasp itself. The clasp is made out from a titanium that's had a PVD coating. I think it ties in extremely well with the watch strap, with the alligator, large-scale alligator there, and then the kind of rubber. The watch itself has an extremely stealthy appearance. I really like these faceted, high polish on the black ceramic case, as well as the satin finish, which kind of reminds me a little bit of what some of the Omega Dark Side watches are doing. But I do think this offers a very stealthy package. This is kind of a case design that the El Primeros are using back in the 70s, but I think it looks extremely modern in this package. Love the big crown again with the Zenith star motif. You got some nice solid pushes there. Operates real smooth, standard stop, start, reset for the chronograph. If you wanted to actually wind the watch itself for the 50-hour power reserve, you're going to go top down, and that winds the watch itself if you want to get it kicked off before you get the automatic rotor going. And if you can just about see here at the 12 o'clock position, you're going to be able to see there's a power reserve for the 50-minute chronograph. So we can use a down top wind to actually power that all the way up. And then you're going to get around 50 minutes on here. But as you've only got a 30-minute chronograph, you may not need that. But yeah, if you can just about see here, as the chronograph's running, when I do stop it, there's going to be, you're going to see that the escapement stops there. There is actually a slight audible hiss when I do start the chronograph, if we can kind of pick that up. If we go here. But if you guys caught that there. But we also want to jump down to kind of some of the measurements of the watch itself. We've got a 44mm case diameter. Case to crown is going to come in at 49mm. If you do the strap width, it's going to be 22mm, and we have 25 across the entirety of the strap, as it is kind of quasi-integrated here into the case. The depth of the watch itself is kind of a solid 14.5, 15 mil, kind of around about there, but it wears relatively slim on the wrist, even though it is 50mm lug to lug, back to front. That is quite small for the overall kind of width of a 44 case. So I typically don't like to wear watches that are significantly over 40mm, which I would consider 44 being in that range. However, due to the kind of stout lug to lug widths and how as you can see, the strap here kind of pivots down, it does wear a little bit smaller than that. So, if we want to get into some of the kind of little more technical stuff, the movement itself is the El Primero 9004 automatic. It's made of 293 components. The frequency, as with most El Primeros, for the time only function is going to be 36,000 vibrations per hour, 5 Hertz. And for the 1/100th of a second chronograph, we're going to 10x that up to 360,000 vibrations per hour, and that is 50 hertz. So as I said before, watch movement or time only movement is a 50-hour power reserve, and you got the 50-minute power reserve with the indicator there at 12 o'clock for the chronograph itself. As for who should buy this watch, well, you know, obviously would be Zenith fans or anyone into kind of new innovative movements with the Defy Lab technology in there. For me, this probably wouldn't be my first chronograph purchase, coming in at, you know, roughly the $10,000 to $12,000 mark, just because of kind of the lack of versatility for the very black stealth appearance of it. However, if you're looking for that black stealthy look, maybe it's your second chronograph, maybe it's more of a dressy watch. I mean, I wouldn't by any means say this is a dress watch, but I could see this could be very kind of James Bond-esque with a tuxedo or a dark suit, but it's obviously not going to go with any ensemble you're going to be wearing with brown shoes, for example. Had this on the wrist for a week now. Wears very, very nice. I believe I weighed it in, including strap, at about 120 grams, which is relatively light for a watch of this size due to, you know, the titanium clasp, obviously being a leather and rubber band, and then also the fact that it's a ceramic case. Very sturdy on the wrist. It's sat very nicely. I have a wrist that's just around or just under 8 inches, and I've got it on the last possible length of the strap there, and in some of the warmer conditions this has been pretty tight, so I'm not sure if Zenith have an option of a kind of a larger strap, but that was one thing to note for any guys out there with a larger wrist than mine. Overall, extremely satisfied and pleased with the watch. Sad to see it go. It's going to go back to Zenith, so I appreciate their PR team sending it out to us here for a review. As always, guys, would love to hear your comments and questions below. What do you think this watch is ideally worn with? For me, as I said, could be a tuxedo all the way through to relatively casual wear. Superb stealthy looks. Love the fact that it did kind of harken back to some of the 70s case design, integrates some brilliant new technology, and overall a fantastic package from Zenith. So with that being said, my name is Paul Anthony. Please comment below with any other questions you may have or any other watch videos you may want to see, and check out our channel for other great content from cigars to whiskey, shoes, and more. Thanks a lot, and I'll catch you next time.